Hola and bienvenido a Ticket to Life. This is Henrie, and thank you so much. And I hope you are relaxing in your most relaxed place right now while listening. Now, unless you are driving to work or school or something that you really would rather be on the beach and listening to Ticket to Life, I will tell you that the beach is my favorite place to be. And I get it. So, just a reminder, I am on the radio in Metro Atlanta, Georgia. And if you ever driving through, you can catch me on WDJY 99.1 FM at 7 a.m. Eastern. And pretty much you can hear this podcast anywhere on your favorite podcast platforms. But just want to mention something about my fantasy football team for football players, not football players, football fans. I'm not doing so well, and I do have Breeze Hall on my team, so I changed my name from Mama's Boys to Breeze Lightning. But anyway, get it. But anyway, wish me luck. I've lost the first two. I'm waiting. By the time you hear this podcast, it'll be week 4, but hopefully I'll have some wins soon. So cross your fingers for Breeze Lightning. But anyway, now I want to talk about being ghosted. Not sure if a lot of people know what that is, but before I do that, I want to share an announcement to all parents and guardians. Now, this is something kind of gross, but it happens. It's not gross. It's a virus, what I'm about to talk about, and it's so highly contagious. And to me, this is a very good public announcement to all parents and guardians, again, as I said. And it is hand, foot, and mouth disease. That just sounds bad, right? Well, I have never had it, and neither did my kids. But unfortunately, my granddaughters got this awful virus. So hand, foot, and mouth disease, otherwise the acronym HFMD, is highly contagious and can be spread to others easily, like droplets in the air. When an infected person coughs, sneezes, it's like a cold. That's how you catch it. And this virus spreads through droplets, again, in the virus. So touching an infected person, and they may not even know they have it yet. So making close contact, kissing, hugging, or can spread this virus. And again, touching the virus, certain things can spread it. So how do kids get it? It can be anywhere. It can be like on toys, doorknobs. If kids, of course, not all kids, even adults are guilty of this. If poop and don't wash their hands right and touch the doorknob, changing a baby that may have it on the diaper. But people don't realize how bad this thing is. Most people are contagious during the first week of illness, but they still spread this virus for days or weeks after symptoms go away because it's living in their body. So my thing to everyone is make sure you always wash your hands. For the COVID believers, we were washing our hands, scrubbing, washing down everything. Wash your hands and not just rinse them. Wash them with soap. Disinfect your bathrooms and their toys, and avoid sharing any of the drinks with them. Eating utensils, that kind of stuff. We all know as adults what we need to do. But the symptoms of this is the youngest granddaughter, she just had a little sore in her mouth. And my daughter, she's got a blister in her mouth, like a canker sore. Oh, really? And then all of a sudden, the next day, my daughter calls me. She goes, Mom, I think she has that hand, foot, and mouth disease. I'm like, oh my gosh, why? And she said, well, she's got few little blisters on her hands, not her feet yet. But she started breaking out with these blisters in her mouth. And it's just really a bad thing. Again, be sure to wash your hands. Teach your kids to wash their hands. 20 seconds, sing the happy birthday song, sing the alphabet song. 20 minutes. Well, that would take all eternity. There goes your whole day. 20 seconds for washing your hands. Now, my daughter said it just started again like a small blister and thought it was a canker sore. But her mouth got worse because you can't eat. Now, for me, that would work because I don't want it. But she said, my poor baby could not eat. Well, then 2 days later, the 5-year-old granddaughter got it. That's how contagious it is, because they didn't know when she made sure once she realized the younger one had it. And as you notice, I'd never mentioned my kids or grandkids' names because you don't need to know that. But anyway, maybe I'll give them anonymous names. But anyway, so she kept them apart, but it was too late. So my 5-year-old granddaughter missed a whole week of school. My 2-year-old granddaughter was just miserable. They were both miserable. And so when the 2-year-old started to get better, then the 5-year-old got it really bad. So anyway, if you see anything like this, just check their throat. And there's nothing you can do. It has to, go its course and get out of the body. But many people and parents have never heard of this. And and my daughter said, Mom, it is disgusting. And luckily my daughter and her husband, my son-in-law, did not get it. But of course, I'm sure they were just washing their hands probably for 20 minutes opposed to 20 seconds. But many people have not heard of this. And I have only heard of it because I've been around kids all my life. And so you hear about kids having it. Some of the blisters can become ulcers. And it can last up to 7 days until it's completely cleared. They are not contagious. It has to be cleared. Before they are not contagious. Excuse me. So parents and guardians, you need to make sure kids are washing their hands. And you too. There's a lot of people that just really don't wash their hands. Have you ever been in a public restroom and the person in the stall next to you leaves and you just hear them walk out and you want to yell, wash your hands? I know I do. But anyway, so just wanted to let people know about this. If you've never heard of it, look it up. Of course, heat can, activate it, it's just, she sent some pictures and the poor babies, it was just bad. But she said that the worst part was their mouth because they couldn't eat. So she's making smoothies. She's making popsicles with elderberry and herbs because that's what my daughter does. And that's pretty much what they were eating. Couldn't have applesauce because that would hurt their little mouths. But they are much, much better by the grace of God. Thank you, Jesus. And my daughter, I just need to let everyone know, is a cleaner. She cleans. So I'm pretty sure if Mr. Clean had a wife, it would probably be my daughter. So let's move on so you can get the picture of those sores in your mouth and you getting hand, foot, and mouth disease out of your mind. Okay. Scene. New podcast. Okay. Today we're talking about being ghosted. Well, Halloween is near. And how many of you have been ghosted? Now, some of you may not know what that is, because I didn't until I think my son had to tell me. It's like, I've heard people being ghosted. What is that? My kids keep me informed. But anyway, the meaning is who knows who gave them the name of ghosted? It is someone who avoids and stops communication with another person, literally, like they fell off the face of the earth. Now, this is usually someone you thought was a friend or you were involved in a romantic relationship. So you thought you were. And some people think of ghosting as a technology or digital kind of way because it's easy to do it on the phone because we live with our phones and that's how we communicate now. We all know that most communication is through our phones, on messages, Instagram, emails. Not too many people pick up the phone to chat with each other like they used to. Not everyone, but it's easier to text. I admit it's easier to text. So thinking about you, reply, what are you thinking about right now? Have you been ghosted before? Just think in your mind. Now reply to yourself, I think I was ghosted. Because some people just think, oh, well. Now, again, so people are losing their social skills. I've mentioned this in past podcasts because of our technology, our phones, all of our social media. And I know that teenagers are, and you can tell not all teens, but a lot of teens are losing or never had social skills because they were given a cell phone as soon as they could talk. No, I'm exaggerating, but I like to refer to them, our cell phones, as our lifeline. Like, we can't live home without it. It's like we can't live without oxygen. A lot of people cannot live without their cell phones. And you know this is true because I am guilty of it. Now, I've gotten better. If I forget my phone and my husband, I'll say, do you have your phone? He says, yes. And I said, okay, if the kids, family needs to get a hold of us, excuse me, they can get, excuse me. Sorry about that. Had to pause, clear my throat so I could speak to you. Anyway, I'm fine with that as long as one of us has a cell phone. So I do have friends that I've met that have, not that I've met, but yes, friends that have met someone on dating sites. And they may talk once or twice, and all they do is text back and forth. No, I'm sorry, but that's annoying to me. I like to meet someone. I want to, if I was dating, or if I were to start dating again, but I don't see that in my future. I don't care to. But I know that there is that problem that they text and they text back and forth. But why don't they call? So all of a sudden, okay, let's get back to the ghosting. All of a sudden, I have these friends who just got ghosted, and then they were upset. And they thought they had something special because they were receiving all these texts, and then bam, it stopped. Not dwindled down. Like, oh, we talk and text throughout the day. And then all of a sudden, they're just gone. And if they were calling, then they literally stopped calling. Oh, we've talked for hours on the phone. Well, then we started to text, but then he just stopped. I say he, notice. It could be he or she. It doesn't matter. So if they were calling and texting and emails and now nothing, nada, poof, they're gone. And close friends and people that work with you too may do this. You may see them at work and then they just stop talking to you unless it's regarding work. It's first of all, very, very disrespectful, and it's rude. Now, if a family member, hopefully, if family members do this, ooh, you may have done something or said something or didn't say something. As we all know, families, we have to handle differently than we handle friends because there are always different situations. And hopefully, you have had a good communication with your family and friends, and that they aren't sick or injured, and that's why you haven't heard from them. Or if something is going on in their personal life and they just would rather figure it out with someone's help because you're going to tell them what you think and what you tell them what you think they should do. So if your family just stops talking to you, so be it. That doesn't mean they're ghosting you. They may be busy. Family's family. Just, you can text and say, hey, just checking up on you. Hope everything's okay. Love you. Bye. And then sometimes family members just need a little space. I think we all need space. I would hope family members, though, don't ghost you. Although it is election year and you have a difference of opinion on your candidate, it might be best just to stay clear from that conversation. You think I am kidding? No, politics can really ruin relationships, family and friends. And people say, oh, no, I would never let that interfere in my family and friendship. I beg to differ. But and that is all I have to say about politics. But also talking about religion, beliefs can stir waters in every which way, and family and friends, because people just don't want to talk about religion. Some of you know what I mean, right? People would rather talk about depressing stuff like murders and deaths and, oh, you did this. Oh, well, you should have done this because blah, blah, blah. We all have opinions, right? I know every one of us could have a podcast just like Henrie. But now some people that ghost people, they get a rise out of ghosting people. Just a reminder, what goes around comes around if you are a ghoster. I don't know if that's a word. But if this person is doing the ghosting and getting a rise from it, well, they aren't worth having in your life. Repeat after me. They are not worth having in my life, your life. And try your best to move on because you don't deserve that. You don't deserve disrespect. No one does. Because no one deserves to feel as though they did something wrong. Now, if you are in a relationship and you don't hear from them for a few days, ding, 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 that's a red flag. Let's say that you call, text, leave voice messages, go to their house, go to their job, and then finally you try calling and texting and you have been blocked. Or it's no longer a working number. I'm sorry, the number you have reached is no longer a working number. More than likely, you have been ghosted. Now, if you've been blocked, your call may go immediately straight to voicemail. And you won't know that you're blocked. It's because it'll still go to their voicemail. So you can still, I guess, leave them a voice message. Or it may ring once. Now, if you text on an iPhone, this is what I looked up. If you text on an iPhone, the little bubble, the little where you type in stuff, it comes up green instead of blue. And they have an iPhone. They'd have to have an iPhone. And it could be that you have been blocked. Or they purchased an Android or a burner phone, also called backup phones. But anyway, and that's why it's turning that color. So FYI, you might sound a little desperate if you are calling and texting and going to their place of business and all that. That's you don't need to do that. Again, we deserve better. So now, I guess you could do a well check up to make sure they're fine, but that might be pushing it because they probably would get upset if the police came knocking on the door and they were saying, we have a caller who said that they were checking up on you because they hadn't heard from you in a few days. So anyway, so you are, of course, let's hope that they're well and not dead or something. Anyway, you are too important in this world to let some male or female make you feel this way. Now, this is definitely all my opinion, but you deserve more than someone who is ghosting you. And you need to know this. You're important. Okay, so let's say you have finally accepted the fact that you have been ghosted. Now, what do? You go on with life and you realize that you can and will be able to survive without this creep that messed with your emotions. But what do you do if you see them? So do you start crying or do you yelling? Why did you ghost me, you sorry mother? Or do you stay and at least stay calm and calmly say, hey, hey, smile on your face. I don't care if it's fake. Hey, it's been a while. I'm assuming this didn't work out for us. And just laugh it off. I don't care how fake that laugh is. Laugh it off. Let's just hope at this point you'll be able to say something like that. If they haven't gotten a restraining order on harassment, on all your calling and texting and showing up at their house, then you might be able to say that. But if there's a restraining order, just keep walking and pretend that you don't see them. Being ghosted or ignored by someone you have known for a few weeks, months, or years can be hurtful. It makes us confused. It would make me so confused. And I'm sure I have been ghosted at one time in my life or more. Who knows? But it's confusing. And again, it makes you angry, but yet at the same time, it makes you sad. And it makes you feel like, what did I do? They leave us wondering, what did I do? What did I say? Now, man up or woman up and show your courage and face this difficult situation. And be honest, not angry. Because those angry words you can't take back. If you should see them, ask them, hey, why are you ghosting me? Put them on the spot. Oh, I'm not ghosting you. Then be bold. Well, I haven't heard from you in 2 weeks where we were chatting every day. I think that this is ghosting. Now, give me a reason why on earth you fell off the earth. You just fell off the face of the earth. Tell me what happened. Put him in the spot. And if he says, well, you were to this or you were to that, say, well, I'm just glad you did it because I was about to ghost you because I could not handle the way you did this. And just say, I think it's best for us. So that was a good decision. I know that sounds way too easy and it's hard to say those words. But if they sit there dumbfounded and lost for words, be brave and just walk away and laugh or smirk or smile or don't do anything. Just walk away. Easier said than done. I know, but we are stronger than we think. And I know that you can do this because you do not deserve that. And remember that you survived the ghoster because you did. So your life should be happy. I know it's hard. It's easy for me to say. I've gone through stuff in my life, and I'm sure I will continue to go through stuff in my life. But there is someone better and willing to love you or like you, to be your friend, to be your lover. And we have to know that we are deserving of love and treated with respect. A lot of people don't believe that they are worth loving. I just did a podcast a few weeks ago about falling in love, but it is true. Ghosting is horrible. I think it is the rudest thing, and it's horrible for people to treat other people like this. But anyway, I hope that many of you, if you've ever been ghosted, have gotten over it, past it, because it can be a hurtful thing. It can be very hurtful. I mean, I think that when people just ghost you, I think that's the coward way out. Yes, if you are a ghoster, I am calling you a coward because you weren't honest. You're an adult. It's not like you're a child. You are an adult. Be able to talk to that person. And if you're scared, well, if I talk to them, they're going to lose it. They're going to get mad. Well, it sure is a lot better than ghosting them. I mean, think about it. If our parents decided, and some of you may have decided, hey, you know what? I've gone through this with parents and family. They just stopped talking to you, and you have no clue why. I think everyone deserves a reason. They just do. Now, the thing here that we do need to remember is, let's say you have been ghosted and you've said your piece and you laughed and said, best thing for us, and this person starts contacting you again. You must remember, if they've done it once, more than likely they will do it again. And again, did you deserve to be ghosted the first time? No. Unless you're one of those needy people that just needs to have someone. And there are people like that. So you accept their faults and you accept that they ghosted you, and you really hope, that they've changed. Again, people can change, but relationships like that aren't worth even working hard at. And I know that sounds horrible if you are really wanting to get into that relationship or a relationship. So just think about it. Think about that for yourself, because again, I really believe that a lot of you deserve, everyone, not a lot of you, everyone deserves to be content and happy and not disrespected. And for the family members, sometimes family members, they are who they are. I love my family. Sometimes we don't agree, but you know what? We're adults and we get over it. And you can't get over an intimate relationship because that's different. That's totally different than what you have with family. And work. Now, there are people that will do this to you at work. And if they do, you confront them. I'm all about confrontation, and not mean. Say, hey, is everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine. Well, why haven't you went to happy hour, and why didn't you invite me? You always invite me. People are just mean too. People can be bullies. They will use you till they're in a certain group. And once they're in that group, they just kind of push you away. I know. I don't understand why we human beings are like that. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't care to get it. It's kind of like, okay, I'm talking about family. We just finished the story about Joseph, Jacob. Yeah, Joseph, not Jacob. Jacob was the dad in the Bible, where Joseph was his dad's favorite, and then his, I think, 7, 10 brothers, I don't know, go off to kill him because they were jealous. I'm sorry, you don't do that. But they didn't kill him. He became very powerful. If you don't know the story of Joseph and the colorful coat. But anyway, it's just interesting that people let envy get to them. And that's in any, I guess, not just family. That's with friends. Don't envy anyone. It's just not. That's just too much energy. Be happy with what you have. You have a life. You have time to listen. You have ticket to life. You had me in your life. I'm thrilled to have you in my life. And I mean that with all my heart, because doing a podcast, it takes time. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to do my podcast because I have to for the radio. I have to? No, I don't have to. I want to. Difference. To have to do something and want to do something. But it is interesting that some people are so envious about what other people have. They're envious of their families. They're envious of the cars they drive. I'm sorry, but if you have a car and you have a family, please, please, please know how blessed you are. If you have a job, you have food on the table, a roof over your head. These are the things that mean things. You are surviving. And in this day and age, it's tough. Well, I guess I will step off my soapbox now, and it's time to go. And I hope that you enjoyed the episode to Ticket to Life. And if you would like, feel free to send me a text on podcast description or email tickettolife022@gmail.com. And you can also hear me on 99.1 WDJY FM Metro Atlanta at 7 a.m. Eastern. And I just want you to know that you are important to me and you deserve the best life ever. So until next week, this is Henrie, and please go find your blessings. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.